Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
Hit that ribbon and get to work. And done. Ladies, we did it. Yes!
What the hell is going on here?
Guess we showed them.
Yeah, I guess we did.
That man is not gonna make it easy for us out here.
He didn't make it easy for you before.
You're right. What I said earlier about young ones like you throwing caution to the wind.
I know.
Don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest today is an actress, director, producer, best-selling author, internationally acclaimed multi-award solo performer, sexual assault awareness advocate, speaker, and founder of the Embrace Your Cape. Wow. I would say that this lady is very, very busy, ladies and gentlemen. So, without further ado, please welcome Kimleigh Smith. Kimleigh, thank you so much for being here today. Greetings and welcome to The Actor's Choice.
Thank you.
Right, before we begin our interview, please tell us where you were born.
I was lucky to be born in Tachikawa, Japan. My father is military Air Force, and so I lived the first 10 years of my life in Japan, which was awesome. Watashi no mae wa Kimleigh desu ka?
Now, see, there's a map. What city was you in? Tokyo, Yokohama?
Tachikawa is just right outside of Tokyo. So I was raised on Yokota Air Base and then literally born just outside of that. So,
I see.
Which is no longer there, by the way.
I understand.
But yeah, that's where I was born.
Kimleigh, I hate to say this, but I understand there's still a special place in your heart for Japan. I've been told that.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like, our formative years in life are 0 to 7. And so I spent my formative years in Japan, so it still feels like home to me. Not that I, disregard my beautiful American upbringing, but it really gave me the uniqueness of the human being that I am today.
Okay. Question number 1. What inspired you to get into this business?
Well, it's so funny. I was going to go to school to be a lawyer. And I remember being in college. Yeah, exactly. My undergrad was in psychology. And I remember being in college studying for the LSAT. And then I realized, oh, wow, if I become a lawyer, this will be my life. Yes. Reading books, studying. And I had all this energy. I was a professional dancer. I was dancing in college. I was doing all this stuff. And so I remember going through these papers and trying to find a job outside of being a lawyer. And I found this great dance company in Chicago, Guskin, and they were offering internships. So I got the internship. I flew to Chicago. I moved to Chicago. I moved all my stuff to Chicago and started dancing. And my best friend at the time from high school really wanted to be an actor. So she was going to school to become an actor and writer and director. And I was going to school for psychology. She had a thesis project that she had to do, and it was a play. And so she asked me to put it up for her in Chicago. I put it up for her. I directed it. I cast it. I did everything. And while I was doing that, everybody kept saying, Kimleigh, you should be an actor. And I was like, no, I'm a dancer. I was very snobby about it. I'm a dancer. And right after the end of that show, somebody asked me to come audition for a play. And I auditioned and I got it. And I have been acting ever since. I have never looked back. Still dancing, still singing, still acting, but acting became my heart and soul. And I had bit into the apple and never looked back.
Given what you just said, madam, what excites you the most when you perform?
Being able to tell the story. My ultimate goal in life is to own your story, own your life. And every character that you get to play, you get to own their story and share their life with the world. And for me, that is where my heart thumps the most, is being able to share different stories, help people see things differently by the stories that we get to tell. As an actor, my job is to bring that character to life so that you believe it enough to go on that journey with me.
Okay. The year was 1999. You got a role, hospital recipient, at a movie called Time Served.
Oh my gosh.
We go
Going
back.
to the flashback.
Going back.
Time Served. Yes, that was my very first movie cast in Chicago. And wow, look at you taking me all the way back. Yeah, that was my very first role.
Well, you seem to like television, no question about it. You've done a lot of, get a lot of stuff that you've done. 46 IMDb credits, not bad as they say in the business,
Thank you very much.
Now you did what? What'd you do? SWAT, Shameless, Scandal. You did Scandal?
Scandal. Very scandalous.
Wow, you had a chance to do a whole lot of good stuff. And,
very blessed right now.
Right. I see that you also have theater credits, quite a few, I say.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
When I was in Chicago, there was a lot of theater. You had the Steppenwolf, you had the Goodman, you had all of these amazing theaters that were created from the ground up out of Chicago. And when you're in Chicago, if you're good at what you do, you're fortunate enough to be working all the time. It was like, it didn't matter where you were going to work if you had any kind of talent at all. Yeah. So the stage was where I really cut my teeth. I hadn't done any TV and film at that time. It was literally just stage. And I got fortunate to be in the world premiere, or the West Coast premiere, really world premiere of a stage performance of The Clockwork Orange at the Steppenwolf Theater. I got to do Crumbs from the Table of Joy at Steppenwolf. Like, I got to do all of these amazing characters and all of these amazing shows at these great theaters. And that is where acting really got into my soul. My first play, like I said, I made $34. I've never done anything for free unless I chosen to. I made $34 for the entire run, but my joy and light has come from being on the stage, which is why I currently now do a solo show that is a stage performance, because the stage is where you get that interpersonal reaction from the audience. You're in it together, right? You're on this journey together. And for me, acting really is the journey, the journeys that we get to go on.
Kimleigh, on this show, everybody knows me. I have a bone to pick with a lot of actors and actresses. They come here to Hollywood and they want to be stars. That's fine.
Yes.
But they'll do television, they'll be film, but they won't do stage, won't touch it.
That's right. Because it's the hardest thing you can do, because it's live. Yes. There's no retakes, right? You can't do over. You can't do, okay, cut, let's do something else. You have to be in the moment, at the moment, every second of the moment that you're on the stage.
Yes. Indeed, that's the way we like to do it. Wow.
Yes.
One of the things that we want to ask you, I just happened to see it down there, Embrace Your Cape. Well, can you take a moment and tell us about that, what that means for us, please?
Yes, I wrote a solo show called Totally, which is based on my life story, from trauma to triumph, as they like to say. And out of that show became kind of this embracing my superhero, embracing the fact that I have been through all of these horrible things, great things, all of that, and being able to embrace everything that I am. So out of this show came my company's name, which is Embrace Your Cape. The philosophy is really about, if you look at a superhero's cape, it flows behind them, right? Right? But when we are stuck in our trauma, stuck in our drama, that cape begins to furl up around us and begins to unfurl, right? Like not unfurl, begins to close off and close you off. As soon as you begin to own all of the things that happen to you, which I think the cape represents, then your cape can flow. And so for me, embracing your cape is owning everything that you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly, loving who you are, loving the world that you exist in, and being able to co-create with the universe what you want out of life. That's embracing your cape. Every superhero has a traumatic origin story, right? We all have a traumatic origin story. Everybody has some kind of trauma that they've got to overcome to be the most amazing human beings that they can be. That is what Embrace Your Cape is. Being all that you are, without shame, without fear, without judgment, just you 100% loving it every second of every moment of every day.
Wow. Outstanding. Outstanding. That attitude is, can't wait a minute. That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Thank you. And that came with work, honey, because there was trauma that I had to overcome to really be able to see life clearly. And that's what really makes me tick.
Okay. You talked about one woman shows back in 2005, somewhere around in there. You did a play called I Never Met a Jerk I Didn't Like.
Oh, that's actually one of the plays that I directed.
You directed, exactly.
Yes, directed for Tiffany Phillips. So going into the directing world, having written and performed and directed and created and wrote all of that stuff that you do with the solo show on my own, I started to realize that I had a little bit of a gift to help other people tell their shows, tell their stories, own their shows, and really create something. And so I got to work with Tiffany Phillips on I Never Met a Jerk I Didn't Like. I've been able to help people bring their story to life. So many people that I can't even count, but it's been such a joyous part of my life is being able to help other people really tell their stories. And I think solo work is one of the best ways to tell your story because it's you and the audience and it's your story. And you get to co-create that with the audience. And you just kind of came up with this formula to really help people dig into their deepest core to be able to tell their real truths. And so that is awesome. My show, gosh, that started in 2008. It has taken, its sixth version at the time that I'm going into. I'll be performing it again March 18th at the Whitefire Theater, which I'm really excited about. But this is, again, will be the sixth version. I just finished the fifth version, and now this sixth version is, it's so delicious. I'm having so much fun with it.
Woo. Stand by. Wow. Guess what? We just happen to have a small clip. Roll it, Tony.
Oh.
If you're a guy and you don't want me, I want you. If anybody at any time has ever called you a douchebag, I'm gonna want to get to know you. I am going to take her. I am going to conquer her. And I am going to destroy her.
Outstanding. I also understand that how about traveling with angels? We heard that you're doing this story of a woman's personal adventure, adversity, and divine guidance.
Yes, J. Renee Pena. We just closed that one night performance over at the Whitefire. It was stunning and beautiful. Tiffany's, we also did at the Whitefire on Thursday, and that's Never Met a Jerk. Both of those shows have been such a deep part of my heart. I've been working with J. Renee since 2012 and Tiffany most recently. And both stories, again, for me, the story is not about whether or not you are a great performer, but whether or not you can really tell a genuine, authentic story that touches people's heart and help them transform. That's what Traveling with Angels really does that. And so does I Never Met a Jerk. And that's it. Like, that's the goal of all solo shows. When you see a great one, that's what you feel. You feel like you've gone on a journey and you've transformed with them.
Gotcha. I understand you recently had 2 sold out shows.
Yeah. Those were the 2.
All right.
Sold out, standing ovations. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I've got a show coming February 2nd, and then my show coming March 18th. So just all of these shows that I've had the sheer pleasure and joy to be a part of, they've changed my lives as much as I've been able to help them change their lives.
Got you. We got just a couple of moments, but we can't get out of here until we talk about something that you have, a critically acclaimed, multi-award-winning solo show called T-O-T-A-L-L-Y. Totally.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us about it. Look at that.
That's what I've been talking about. This one woman show came to me after I donated a kidney to my cousin, and I'm sitting in the hospital room and I'm chit-chatting because I'm on drugs, which I'm not a druggy person. And I just remember telling all of these stories, and people kept saying, you got to write a one-woman show. And I was like, huh? And I came back to LA after donating my kidney in Kansas. And I said, okay, let me see what I could do. And everything I wrote was terrible. And then one day the universe opened up and the show came into my soul. And I was able to create this show about my story. I was a gang rape victim in college and how I overcame that with laughter and love and light. right? You know, there's so many things that I could have done because of that experience, but it came out of love, laughter, and light. And I like to be funny. I have to laugh at everything, and I can laugh at myself as much as I can laugh at other people. So that's what that show is. It's about my journey in life from the 17-year-old girl I was to the woman I have become. And really, that's where Embrace Your Cape stemmed from, is really embracing not just my good stuff, but my bad stuff, and realizing that with great trauma comes great responsibility. And in that responsibility, it was about telling a story that could change people's lives. And that's what I was dedicated to. And that is what I was committed to. And that is what my show has become. It has been from Lithuania to Hawaii to New York to Chicago, like to everywhere. And it continues to grow, and it will continue to grow. Our dream is to be on Broadway and to take this up to the next level. And that is what comes with this new version that I just got to write on.
Emily, all we can say is one word: amen.
Amen.
We got time to run a quick click on that. Tony, would you drop that on us, please, sir?
Hey, oh.
It's a little girl's journey to adulthood.
I'm totally 17. I'm totally a college freshman, and I'm totally a cheerleader. Oh, duh. M-I-K-E Mike is the most cutest boy I have ever seen in my entire life. So,
Kimleigh, thank you so much for making our day a better day. I just want to thank you for your publicist, Jasmine Espada.
Jasmine, we love you.
Yes, indeed. As they say, stay loose like a goose and continue to do what you do. Amen.
Amen to that. Such a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Have a great rest of your week.
All I can say is we'll bring you back again. No problem.
Okay. I look forward to it, baby.
You got
Take care. Thank
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, Kimleigh Smith.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to let you know that we're asking all the Actors people to help us out to get former baseball player Curt Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, Curt, who passed away January 20th, 1997, he's the husband of one of our wonderful guests, renowned actress Judy Pace. So all you got to do is contact our office at 213-349-3941. That's 213-349-3941. We sincerely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this magnificent award for a great baseball player. Roller, Tony.
Je ne savais pas quel genre de musique tu plais. J'ai du jazz aussi. Si tu veux. Help! Are you done yet? Please. I don't know what you want from me.
We want information about Anna Espinosa.
I can't help you.
Yes, you can.
Anna?
I know you're trying to do right by your client, but you and I both know you are not cut out.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today is an actor, a writer, and a producer. This gentleman's got significant education, as I call it, with 2 MFA degrees, one from Carnegie Mellon University and the other from the Moscow Art Theater in Moscow, Russia. Not bad, sir. Not bad. He's got TV, film, and theater productions under his belt, and he's here today to talk about his new play. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeremy Guskin. Jeremy, welcome to the Actor's Choice, my friend. Good to see you again. 2 MFA degrees, not bad, sir.
Yeah, well, you know, you gotta put in the work. Like my dad told me, he's like, you know, if you want to do this for a living, fine, but you got to get an education first.
Dad was good. Dad was good. By the way, after the last time you and I talked, I went back and did some research. That is the Father Duffy Square on Broadway. Remember that? I asked you, I said, who's that statue sitting out there that the birds sit on his bean all the time?
Right.
That'd be him. That'd be him. My goodness. My goodness. Okay. Question number 1. Sat up all night long to write this one. What inspired you to become an actor, sir?
I'll keep it short and sweet. The thing
your
that
time.
inspired me,
17 minutes.
it was my dad. My dad was a professional actor when I was growing up, but had to give it up. And the story he always liked to tell was, you know, he'd be walking around Manhattan and they'd say, "Hey, Paul, how you doing?" He'd be like, "For a single guy, great. For married and 2 kids, you know, and it's a tough business. And he told me that's the way it was. But I remember seeing him as when I was a kid, because he was on Broadway when I was a child, and he was doing this show on Broadway, and I'm sitting in the audience, and I was about 4 years old. And I remember him coming on stage, and he's wearing this weird coat and a hat, and he's talking in a different way, and he falls over a couch, and everybody's laughing. And I remember, even at 4 years old, just sitting there watching him on stage and thinking, I could do that so much better. So, you know, like I really wanted to do it, and he's the one who nurtured that for me and supported me, and my mother supports me, and those are the people who got me into it, you know, and they exposed me to all the greats. You know, I was watching classic films as a kid, and, you know, Keaton and Chaplin and Lloyd and the Marx Brothers, and, you know, and going to see great theater, you know, growing up. That's what it was.
Out of gratitude, can you tell us the name of your father, please?
My father's name was Paul Guskin. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But if you ever want to see him, he's the waiter in the Russian tea room scene in the movie Tootsie.
Ouch. Ouch.
You'll recognize the hair.
Oh, yeah, recognize it. Jeremy, you're a nut. Listen, there's so much that you do when you look at your business. 67 IMDb credits, as they say in the business. Not bad.
Yeah, you know, could be better. If anybody's out there, you know, wants to make it 68, you know, please come contact me. I'm always available.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna talk to you about Lucy. Lucy and I are gonna have some fun about you, sir. Favorite choice of acting: TV, film, stage?
I love it all. I really am, you know, like, I've done pretty much everything. I've done video games, cartoons, books on tape, stage, screen, big, small, in between, internet, everything. I love live performance because there's nothing like it. Yes. Getting immediate response back for whatever you're doing. That really is, I think, the gold standard. But I mean, I love working on great television. I love working on great film. And really what I think it is, I just love working with people who have natural joy. So it doesn't even really matter what the venue is. When you find that, the rest is cake.
I see that there are the various roles you've had as you go through your IMDb. What roles do you like to do?
I love everything. I love doing comedy because it's kind of my wheelhouse. But right now I'm having a lot of fun playing villains. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing more fun than having curly hair and dimples and playing a villain, you know? Nobody suspects.
Because I see you love to do TV series.
Yes. So I get hired to do quite a bit of TV lately.
Yes. That's the folks don't know it. That's how you get those IMDb credits.
Oh, yeah. And
how you do it.
Yeah, two of my favorite things that are on right now, Just Add Magic on Amazon, which is a wonderful show, and I was a fan of it before I was on it, which doesn't always happen. And I've done a lot of work with Nickelodeon lately, but working with the Henry Danger group was it was bliss. It was like showing up to an amusement park every day. It was so much fun.
Got you. While we're at it, what advice would you give to anyone trying to be an actor?
I guess the gut reaction is, don't, because I don't need the competition. Right. Let's be honest. But for anybody who wants to do it, the best advice I could possibly give is the advice my dad gave me. And that was go out and act. If you are an actor, go out and act. Don't wait for it. Go out and make your own work, write your own work, develop the skills that you love, sing, dance, play the ukulele, tap dance, ride a unicycle, juggle, whatever it is. And keep yourself in it, right? If you love it, you got to show that will and that joy every day.
All right. Jeremy, the year 1998, you did a movie comedy called Damned. Remember that? Hello. You played the roles of Jesus.
Yes.
Jesus, what do you say?
I have gained internet fame or infamy, depending on how you like to phrase it, because of the show Impractical Jokers. Mm-hmm. And one of the stars of it made a student film right after college called Damned, and he wanted to do about teenage Jesus, and I auditioned for this right out of grad school, and I have been recognized for this more times than I would like to say. But it was fun. It was fun to work on, and anybody who recognizes it, when people and especially younger people who recognize me and are excited about it, it's so much fun. I imagine it's like Christopher Lloyd being, called Doc Brown all the time. It's just great.
That was where you got your first IMDb film actor credit.
Mm-hmm.
You got something good out of that one, indeed. Okay. UCB Theater, you're involved with them. Please tell us about that.
Sure. The Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, they took a bit of a hiatus during the pandemic, as did most of us. But UCB is back, and they have their original theater on Franklin in Hollywood. I'm a member of a sketch team, actually their first writer-performer sketch team, and we're called Money Please. And we're performing this Wednesday, actually, at 8 o'clock at the UCB Theater on Franklin. And it's a lot of fun. It's just some of the most talented, funniest people that I've ever gotten to work with. I love working at UCB. They're I mean, again, it's the people there. It's just it's amazing.
Greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, you hear this gentleman's voice. Golden throat is what we call it. He does voice work. Is that right?
Yes, it is. That's correct. In fact, I'm working on a video game. Working on a video game right now. I can't say anything about it, but you'll recognize the character and you'll recognize what it's from. And it's just so much fun to go in and do.
Yes. Wow. Jeremy, while I was doing my research for this interview, I discovered a movie that you did back in 2014. They called it The Hero of Color City. Remember that one?
Sure do. That was a lot of fun to do. Got to do multiple voices on it too. Normally I'll only get to do one, which is great, but I think I did 3, possibly 4 for Color City. And it's great because I was able to take some of the merchandising and give it to my young nieces. So, like there's not a lot of stuff, especially, from more adult things that have marketing in it, but this was great. And again, like doing cartoon voices is so much fun because not only do you get to do the acting, I can show up in any clothes I want and I don't have to shave or smell nice or nothing. You just go in and you do it.
Okay, we just happen to have a small clip, ladies and gentlemen. Roll it, Tony.
Tangerine.
Hello.
Periwinkle.
Here. I'm here. Oh, did he see me? I've been here.
Baby blue. Orange. Huh? Juicy. White.
Did you see? Did you brown? Ben reached for me today. Well, almost reached for me, but still.
I saw it. And pretty soon Ben's gonna draw a holiday card. Now, who do you think he's gonna use for snow?
Me. Gee, thanks.
Wow, brings back some memories, doesn't it?
It's great.
Definitely. Operation Payback. You did that one this year.
Mm-hmm.
That was your latest one that you've done this year.
A very good friend of mine who I went to college with, my friend Darren, who, if you're interested in anything that we've been doing together, he's amazing. He's a writer, he's a producer, he's a director. We also did a bunch of videos over the pandemic called Cast of One, Crew of One. And it started with me wanting to play all the roles in a Monty Python scene, one of my favorites, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The possession is 3/4 of the law. The old woman, man, sorry. But I played all the parts. Darren edited everything. He is absolutely incredible. And Payback is still making the festival circuit. So if you have a chance to go check it out, please do. It's short and it's very funny.
Speaking of funny, Anatomy of Grey.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, the current play at Open Fist, and I am lucky enough to play Dr. Galen P. Gray in Jim Leonard's wonderful piece. It's been a lot of fun to do, and it's interesting for me because I haven't gotten to play a part like this in a long time. It's a lot of comedy, but also a lot of drama, and trying to transition from one to the next is always so much fun. It's a great acting challenge. Wow. But the writing is wonderful. The cast is fantastic. I'm even getting to work with one of my former students who is now one of the artistic directors at Open Fist, Mr. James Fowler, who I love to death. And he's amazing, but I get to work with him. And again, getting to work with a former student, everything coming full circle.
Right. You mentioned Open Fist Theater Company. Tell our viewers what that is, please, sir.
The Open Fist Theater Company, wonderful company in Altadena, in the Atwater Village Theater Complex. They share with, I believe it's ETC and Echo. But Open Fist has been around for a while. I worked with them about 10, 15 years ago when a friend of mine, my friend Laura, introduced me to them and said, you got to get in here. It's some great people. And took a little bit of a break to get my foot in the door at UCB. But now that I've got that firmly wedged in there, I'm coming back to Open Fist.
All right. Jim Leonard, he was your playwright.
Yes.
I've heard a lot about him. He's good. You hear a lot about it.
Yeah. wrote The Diviners, and he's just, not only is he a fantastic playwright, he's really an amazing man. He came to one of our later dress rehearsals, and just having him in the audience, being able to talk to him about where he comes from, about why he wanted to write the play.
Yes.
And I don't want to give too much away, but this comes from something really personal from him, from his growing up in Indiana to being in the theater community in the 80s. And, you know, I probably don't need to tell you what was going on and what was happening to a lot of really talented people around that time. So, you know, with the AIDS epidemic and where he comes from, he wrote this wonderful play, and I love the way it moves. I love the character of Dr. Gray and everybody else. So, you know, I have to thank Jim for just letting us do it.
Got you. We got a couple of slides that we want to take a look at. This is the first photo. There you are.
I look great.
You ain't convinced? You ain't conceded? You're convinced. Okay, there's the next one right there.
Perfect.
Now, I noticed some guns up in there. Can you talk about that? Because these days, you know, guns is...
Yes, and we discussed this at length. What is it like to bring a gun into the theater with the climate in America right now? The good thing is we use them very sparingly, and they're used in the way that they're supposed to be. It's not a threat. We're showing sort of the ineffectualness of firearms in this situation. How it's not going to solve anything and it's not going to help anything. And we never, we're very safe with everything. We never point them at the audience. And we definitely understand, you know, like it makes people tense. Like even the first time we worked with one in the theater, we got very, very, you know, our hackles on the back of our neck started rising up. So we said, this is something we have to address for an audience. And we made sure that, one, we're using them in the way they're supposed to be used, which is not really almost in a threatening way, but almost a comedic way. So we try to take the sting out of that as best we can.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Here's another photo there.
Oh, see. Oh, and there's me next to James. He's on my right on the stool. Me and one of my students pretending to drink together.
Okay.
Take that with a grain of salt, you know.
Here's the next one, the last one. There you are.
Yes, fantastic ensemble cast, and everything's double cast. So if you see characters changing from slide to slide, it's because most of the characters are double cast. Okay. So you depending on what night you come, you know, which cast you want to see, you get a totally different experience.
Okay. Tell us the date again that opens and when it runs.
We're already open, and we are Friday, Saturday nights at 8 o'clock and Sunday matinees at 3. We're taking a brief hiatus during the holiday New Year weeks, but we're going to be running through the 3rd week in January. Mm-hmm. And if you can come down, check it out. And I'd also love to thank my school, Avison Global Leadership Academy, where I'm right now, and they're allowing me to talk to you all. So this has been great.
Oh, my friend, what's the location of the Atwater Theater?
Atwater Village Theater Complex is on Cerritos in Atwater. If you look up ETC Theater Company or Echo Theater Company or Open Fist, they will all direct you to the same place.
Okay. Telephone number 323-644-1929, I'm told.
I think that's right. I don't memorize any numbers anymore because I have a phone and I'm an idiot. I still remember my friend Robbie's phone number, who doesn't live next to me anymore, but any others one, no, I don't remember.
Jeremy, you are too much. We're out of town, sir, unfortunately. I want to thank you for taking the time to come down about your new, and tell us about your new play. Sounds great. Telephone number we gave you, but thanks to your super publicist, Lucy Pollock.
Thank you, Lucy, and thank you, Ron. This is fantastic. I really appreciate it.
She always comes through. That's one thing about that lady. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Guskin.
Thank you.
God bless you. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, for more information about the TAC Roku channel, please call us at 213-349-3941. That's 213-349-3941. Thank you so much. Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today works with special equipment that is used in getting a picture on the screen by using a camera. Now, the art and technology of motion picture photography involves such techniques as the general composition of a scene, the lighting of the set or location, the choice of camera, lenses, filters, and film stock. This art is known as a cinematographer. My guest today has been doing this for a number of years. That video you just saw is an example of her work. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Giulia Governo. Greetings, Giulia, and welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. I mean, those are a lot of words to talk about this profession. You've been in for a long time. Please tell us where you were born.
I was born in Torino, Italy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's a place.
Okay, all right. When you read your bio, there's a lot of extensive stuff. For lack of time, we can't get into all of it. But please tell us what made you, first of all, get into cinematography?
I think it started with my passion for photography since I was a little kid.
Okay.
And then it kind of merged with my love for movies. And, you know, it progressed from there. I just wanted to tell a story and inspire people.
I understand that when you were young, your parents were nagging you to go to the Egyptian Museum over and over and over again.
Yeah, I was nagging my parents. Yeah, in Turin, we have the second largest and best Egyptian museum in the world. It's second only to the Cairo Museum.
Right.
And it was my passion when I was a kid. And I was like, can we go? Can we go? Can we go?
I understand.
But sometimes we go to a museum. We go to a museum. It wasn't always the same.
Yes.
Yeah, we have plenty.
You express yourself by painting with light and exploring the meta actions that reveal the depth of humanity. That's what I understand.
Yes, correct.
Can you explain that, please?
But I think that's how my brain works. It works through images. And so when someone come to me and tell me a story, my brain see it. And that's what I like to share. What I see, what it can be said with an image that can have multiple layers and multiple meanings. And wherever the audience is ready to see, to understand, is what you give to them. And maybe they're gonna come back to the same movie or same images 5 years later, and they get something different.
Gotcha.
And I think that is beautiful.
Because it was when you were at the European Institute of Design when you had your first encounter with cinematography.
Yeah, I was studying photography. One of our class was history of director of photography. And I jumped on board and I was like, yep, that's what I want to do. I want to move the picture. It cannot be static anymore.
Okay.
And it kind of allowed me to start to consciously analyze the moving picture.
Okay. When did you come to America to get work in Hollywood?
I came here 9 years ago to study cinematography. And then I just stayed and said, okay, that's a place for me.
Wow.
And, you know, I started working and let's see where it goes from here. I'm open to where this profession is gonna bring me.
What you just said is beautiful, because as I did my homework, 2014, your first IMDb cinematographer credit, Plenum.
Yes.
My goodness, and that was followed. That year you did a total of 6 films that year alone.
Yeah, that's, you're in school, you meet a lot of people and a lot of filmmakers, and you collaborate with a lot of people.
Yes.
And it's beautiful to learn together and to grow together. So
when you put your hands on that camera, I looked at some of them, The Challenging Fate, Delirium, the next one, Talking is Overrated, Just Another Heartbeat. I mean, it was just amazing. And the beautiful thing about the more that I saw, every year since 2014, since you started in this business, you have worked every year. Every year, you don't stop.
You can't
don't stop. Oh, that's beautiful.
It's part of you. You can't stop.
Yes.
It's just another way to express it. That was, for me, COVID was so difficult. I wasn't able to express myself. I took a bunch of pictures of my house.
Yes. Yes.
Corner that I could find.
Wow.
But it's just a need to keep going, to keep, exploring humanity. And
wow. Right now, let me see, according to what I see, you've completed this so far, 5 films, 1 in pre-production, 1 in post-production. So you go from one job to another, obviously you've got a great reputation in the business, obviously.
Well, I hope so.
You work hard, you do it.
Wow. I work hard, and that's the thing. I choose project that I believe in, that I'm passionate in, and that's allowed me to be 110% or more in the project and making sure that the vision of the director has can come to life.
You're qualified as a cinematographer, a camera operator. You got a picture, I believe, of you showing the camera. There you are. Oh, there you are. There you are. There you go. Hat on, camera in hand, coat on, doing it. Wow.
That's it. That's when I'm happy. When I have the camera in my hands.
What does it feel like when you got the camera in your hand? You're taking it.
I don't know. For me, it's an extension of myself.
Okay.
So that's why I operate all my projects.
Okay.
And I love to operate for other cinematographers too. It's just another way to express myself and to immerse myself in the story. Okay. And I like to listen what the story needs. Okay. And then I follow.
Okay. When you're shooting, do you like digital or you like celluloid? What's your favorite?
I don't have a favorite. I think there are 2 different ways to work and to operate. I noticed that my experience with celluloid, sometimes I feel that everyone is more focused and concentrate because they know that it's gonna run out.
Yes.
And sometimes when you are on a digital, it's more like let's keep rolling.
Yes.
That is, it can be beautiful too, because sometimes something happened that you didn't plan, but you were still rolling, and you capture it and it worked great.
For the benefit of our audience, when you do celluloid, you have to take it into and get it worked on, and you have to look at it. If you made a mistake as a problem, whereas with digital, you make a mistake, you can see it right away, do it again.
True.
Yep. What's it like when you're on the set? You're right there. There's the director. There's all the actors. What's it like? Here you are with a Steadicam right there. What's it like on stage?
For me, it's energetic.
Yes.
Is like, you don't even notice when the time pass. So at one point, some with AD is telling you, we need to keep going. It's just, it's a lot of energy, a lot of fun, it's a lot of hard work, but it's always with what it gives you is a lot. And the other thing that we are never alone. You always collaborate and be creative with other people. So there is always exchange that keep you going. And, you go home, you're tired, you finish the project, and half a day after that, okay, what's next? What's next?
What's next? We just saw a
Yeah, it was the first stabilizer. So it was the first time that you can move the camera freely without the movement of a camera operator.
Mm-hmm.
So it brought a new way to move the camera to follow the actor that it kind of feel like if you fly behind them.
Guess what? We just happen to have a clip of someone doing this so people can see what the Steadicam does.
Yes.
Roll it down.
We don't need to cut.
Now, he went around 2 or 3 times, and then when they go in the editing room, then they cut it up to what they want to get. Is that how it's done?
It depends from the project. Sometimes is what is called a oneer, so it's without cut.
Yes.
Like it happened. One of the famous scenes from the Goodfella when they go inside the club.
Yes.
It take her future wife in the club for the first time, and that is a oneer. You don't have cut. Other time they're gonna intercut with other things. And that's just a choice in editing and the director.
Okay. It's a must that you keep up with the technology. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. You know,
It's
you're always learning. You're always studying. You always try to figure out what the best tool is for the next project. And yeah, there's a lot of technology right now that help or sometimes complicate your life.
Got you. What was it like when you saw your first movie up on the screen?
It was great. It was like a dream come true. You know, I remember when I was a little kid watching movies and imagining to one day making one.
Yes.
And now it's happened.
Wow.
And I can share with people.
When you see your name in the credits when they run it, that makes you feel real good.
Yes, it does.
I'd like to mention a good friend of yours and mine, Eva Marie Frederick. You familiar with my good friend?
Yes.
That lady? You've worked with her, I understand?
Yeah, I shoot a music video with her. One Denise and the other one Luna. It was great. She has great idea and she knows what she wants.
Yes.
That's always great. And you know, she has a different point of view on filmmaking and what is fun. So
excellent.
It was fun.
How do you
and
get
the project
work?
are doing great to festivals. So
Got you. How do you get work? Your name is out there. They're starting to do a film, and they said, "Let's bring Giulia in here." How does that happen?
yeah, I mean, sometimes you contact them. At the time they contact you. It's a word of mouth for most part. So you start to work with one person, and then you know. You go around, and sometimes people that you haven't talked for a while, they contact you out of the blue and say, "Whoa, okay, let's do it," and then you know, magic happened. That was happened with the mini series Queen.com that I shot a summer ago, and right now is in post-production. And she was one of my classmates in UCLA Extension.
Wow. Are you a union member, madam?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right. Here's one. Favorite director?
Favorite director? That's tough.
You work with the best.
I mean, that I work with, I would say Sarah Jefferson Carter. She's the director for a miniseries Queen.com. She has this amazing way to collaborate and let her collaborator be free to express himself.
Okay.
But at the same time, she has a clear idea, so she doesn't like something, she's gonna tell you, and you know, you move forward.
Got you.
But more known director, I really like Spielberg, and I really like Joe Wright. Two completely different styles, but both of them have a very deep understanding on storytelling, visual storytelling.
Excellent. Before we get out of here, we want to have a chance to take a look at one of the clips that we have on you. Roll it, Tony. Excellent, excellent. Giulia, we thank you very, very much for being with us today. I wish you more time to hear your story. Please come back again if you would, madam.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
Indeed, it's amazing what you do and have done all these years. And of course, thanks our good friend, Eva Marie Frederick, good friend of both of us. Thank you.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Giulia Governo.
Governo, yes.
Thank you very much. I want to thank our scholars, Harvey Brandman's Photography as an Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life, The Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actors Space. And much thanks to our guest today, actress, director, producer Kimleigh Smith, actor, writer, producer Jeremy Guskin, and cinematographer, camera operator, Steadicam op Giulia Governo. And of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time.